Whether some little thing like a belt coming off might cripple them toward the end, who knows?
Yellow lights just come on. And it's Roberto Guerrero. Roberto Guerrero takes a spin, apparently several of them, and catches the wall, our second yellow of the day.
Yeah, and I can see the car right from where I am, Paul, although I didn't see all the spin. I saw the end of it, and the car isn't really hurt all that bad. It wasn't that bad a wreck. He's sitting still in the car. He's moving now. He's going to be able to get out, so I'm sure he's in pretty good shape.
With 20 laps complete, Robbie Gordon had moved up through the field, and then the yellow light came on. And there is the sign at the pits. Now, here's the rule here. The field must bunch behind the pace car before they open the pits. There's Roberto Guerrero's spin, Sam.
Well, the terrific thing is we've now had 2 spins, if you include the Dennis Vitolo one, and nobody hurt. And I think that the configuration of the track as of last year, with the aprons grassed over, it's terrific because the spins keep you away from the wall now. There he is in the center of the screen in the green car, losing it really low on the track, Danny, just the same way Vitolo did.
Let's take a look at that first replay once again. We'll do it in slow motion now. Roberto Guerrero.
He came off the turn too low, Paul. He was pinching it coming off the turn. And you can see he's going right across the short chute, sliding across, really slowed down the speed a lot. Comes out and bangs the car really very gently.
Bobby, do you think that that is partly because of the understeer that they're all experiencing?
Yes, what happens is they're pinching it too much coming off. A lot of the guys have been doing this down in turn 2. I saw Lynn St. James almost spin just a little bit ago.
Roberto Guerrero's wife watches from the pits. Bobby G has not finished a 500 since 1987 when he finished second. We'll return with more of the 500 after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We're back live in Indianapolis where everyone headed for the pits, but Mario Andretti is still there, Gary.
Yeah, Paul, they've taken off the bodywork. They've gone to work on the electronics in the right side pod. They tell us that the problem was the car would not idle when they came in under yellow for that pit stop. What a horrendous thing to happen on the first stop of the race for this man in his final drive at Indy. And we understand Paul Tracy is in the pits.
Yeah, Paul Tracy a little bit further north in the pit area. When he came in, he stalled. That's one of the Mercedes-Benz engines, but also Al Unser Jr., the leader of the race. When he came in for his stop and started to pull away, this was what happened. Into the stop, the car's down off the jacks.
But Paul, you know, it's not uncommon for top drivers to have problems in the pits. Last year, Mansell overshot his pit. Fittipaldi stopped at the wrong pit. Mario went into the pits too soon. Bosell passed another car. So this is not uncommon.
And Sam, the problem there was that Little Al was being just a little bit too conservative, trying to take care of the transmission and the clutch. And sometimes you do that. You know, he's got a lead, he's got an edge, trying to take care of it, therefore a mistake happens.
Bobby, that was absolutely right. He was just trying to be conservative and not spin the tires, do any damage to the gearbox.
All right, let's go to Jack Arute.
Well, Bobby Unser is absolutely right. There may have been a problem, just pre-race jitters. Remember what Danny Sullivan said, the fact that it's like teeing up for the U.S. Open. They haven't practiced any pit stops for quite some time. Now, there's a pit board across that signals to Al Unser Jr. The Penske radios are scrambled. The last time the board went out in front of Al Jr., it said radio out. We'll check on that, but there could be a problem with the radios on Team Penske and Al Jr.
Well, don't forget, they also have one other method that only Penske has. He has like a little computer on the steering wheel that they can write messages to him.
Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Well, John Barnes, the team manager for Pagan Racing, and Roberto Guerrero. And John, it's not a good beginning for you. What happened out there?
Well, the Interstate Batteries car was doing a great job, and Roberto was moving up through traffic easily, and everything was just fine. It looked like he got in a little dirty air and down in the corner there and just got away from him. But it was an honor to have a great guy like him drive for us, and we look forward to doing it again.
Have you spoken with him since the incident?
No, his radio communication on the backside with the suites here is a little bit bad, but he just came by the straightaway and said everything was fine. So it's just one of those things.
Let's check in with Gary Gerald.
The problems continue for Mario Andretti. They put all the bodywork back on. They thought they'd made the change. They tried to fire the car. It would not respond. We understand that when the accident occurred, traffic slowed down and it got below the low level for RPMs, and the engine just died. They haven't been able to get it fixed thus far.
And Mario Andretti fell from that battle for fourth. He is now 31st as he continues to sit in the pits. The new leader is Fittipaldi.
Indianapolis 500. This ABC Sports exclusive brought to you by Molson Ice from Canada, the land where ice was born. The Valvoline Performance Team. Goodyear, #1 in tires. And Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard.
We've just come back to green flag racing in Indianapolis. Emerson Fittipaldi leading the field after Al Unser Jr. spent an extra 11 seconds in the pits due to a stalled engine. It dropped him down to third. But very quickly on the green flag, this car, number 31, moved around Michael Andretti and moved into second place. There is Michael Andretti's onboard camera. Is that terrific or what as he runs in third?
And Paul, just so the people know, it looks like the right rear of the car is shaking on this shot, but it isn't. The camera is mounted on the wing, and that's what's doing the vibration, and it's a very minor vibration.
Yellow light just flashed on, yellow light. And there's debris everywhere, and cars still trying to avoid one another.
Down in turn 1.
Looks like one of the Dobson's cars, the Pac West machines. Other car down against the wall is difficult. Bobby Unser, do you have glasses on this? One car comes very slowly through this, and all of the equipment is there.
There's so much equipment around it, Paul, I really can't see it, and we saw the end of it, but we couldn't see the start of it from here.
And one of the cars appears to be Dominic Dobson. That's the right one down on the inside. We'll take a look at some replays, see if we can tell what happened.
There's Dobson pinched down tight on the inside. We know he's one of the cars involved.
Now remember, one of the problems when you see an accident like this isn't just the two cars that are in the accident, it's all the parts that are flying. The drivers behind are trying to miss all those pieces. They don't know at that speed whether it's big pieces of the car or a race car or little pieces.
Well, and also, Bobby, the big thing with those cars behind them is trying to gently go on the brakes, not too hard, so that they don't spin and get involved in the accident.
There it is again. Mike Groff is the other car. Mike Groff, the other car. Look at that from the apex cam. We'll take a look at one more angle.
Now this is a problem. You can watch. Yeah, you can watch that what happened there is two guys tried to get in the same position. Two cars just joined, and the car on the inside really couldn't do much about it. The guy on the outside that comes down the guy on the inside, you can't do much. There's a right rear tire on the 40 car. Look at that.
Scott Goodyear, who started 33rd, and he's in trouble. Hopefully that rubber will not beat any damage into the back of the car, but it looks like it already has. So we're under yellow again here at Indianapolis with 30 laps complete.
Take the bus home.
That's it, Joe. Miller Lite and Brooks & Dunn remind you to please think when you drink, because that's a great sounding combination.
This summer, our national pastime will give you a look you've never seen before. It's Baseball Night in America, beginning July 16th on ABC.
Back at Indianapolis, they try to get the cars off of the race course. At the 17 car of Dominic Dobson, the crews here from the United States Auto Club have very carefully extricated Dominic Dobson from the car. He is on the stretcher. Now let's take a look at this situation from the teammate of Mike Groff, Bobby Rahal. Danny Sullivan, what's happening here?
Well, of course, the accident's occurred in front of him. He's trying to slow. He looks at all the debris. The car's slowing. Makes a great move across the grass onto the lane and safely out of there.
Here's another view of the same thing. Bobby Unser.
Yes, and you can see Groff coming down. He wants to go to the bottom. Now he just went a little too far. Watch the right front and the left rear. Groff's left rear caught it, spins him, pinched the front end of the car on the left, and watch Groff. He goes and he hits the wall backwards. This is where he's been hurt. That's very solid on these cars. They don't give as much on the back as they do the front, Paul.
You know, and it sounded like Bobby Rahal's car took a hit of something heavy.
Now watch Rahal coming around, and you see it's that tire. If you hit a tire, you might as well hit a car. That's what everybody's trying to miss. Tires are floating around there just like pebbles.
So debris everywhere down in the first turn as the ambulance now heads back to the track medical facility. In the pits, they've been working on Lynn St. James' car and Mario Andretti's car. Let's go to the pits and Gary Punch.
Well, Mark Moore is Dominic Dobson's chief mechanic. And Mark, what did Dominic say happened out there?
He was going down into turn 1, and maybe you guys can see it on the replays. He got all the way inside Mr. Groff, and Groff came down on him, probably didn't see him. I've seen and worked with Mike Groff a lot of years, and I know he didn't mean to do it. He's not that kind of guy, but Dominic was running really well. We changed the right front wing. He had a good push for a while and was making a good restart, and the car felt better. He's gotten out of the car now, and his legs hurt a bit, but he's okay.
That's Dominic Dobson's crew chief, Paul.
So we're under yellow again at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll return with more of the Indy 500 after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Mario Andretti has just climbed out of the cockpit after setting in abject frustration. Now on the wall, the helmet off. Mario, this crowd responding to all your years, and I know that this has to be as bitter a disappointment as maybe you've ever had at this great race plant.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why things happen like this. It seems like just weird things are happening to me very early, and you know, it's obviously disappointing. You know, I think you know, we're doing all right. We're running okay. I felt very comfortable. Nothing else I can say, I guess.
What happened when you had to slow down after the incident? Then you lost revs altogether?
When yellow came out, when I backed off, it blew out the pressure relief valve, the way I understand, inside the engine, inside the plenum, and they thought they could fix it, but it's an internal piece, and that's it. Because I noticed as soon as I backed off on the back straightaway, when I'm trying to get back up to speed, the thing was just, you know, was just not picking up the rev. So coming in, I couldn't keep the engine running. So it just, one of those things. Just.
Mario, how hard will it be to leave Indianapolis as a competitor?
Well, it's hard, but you know, Michael is out there and John are out there, and I'll be rooting for him. So. You know, if I can win it, I hope they have many.
And we'll see you next week at Milwaukee.
You bet.
Mario is out, his car being pushed back into Gasoline Alley. And now Lynn St. James was also a victim in this most recent incident. She had suspension problems on the left front of the car. The crew has been working feverishly. They hope that they can get it repaired. Lynn has stayed in the cockpit. Of course, she's lost a tremendous amount of time after her sensational qualifying effort to start in the second row. So a lot of disappointment early at Indianapolis, Paul.
We're still under yellow here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as Lynn St. James sits in her car. The Goodyear Blimp Spirit. Overhead today, the captain is Mark Nett. He's given us some great shots, including some action shots of some of these incidents. Mario Andretti traveled 7,722.5 miles at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in competition. Let's go to Jack.
Well, Paul, the latest report from Nigel Mansell is throughout the early going of this race, he's been radioing back into his crew that he has a problem with his pop-off valve. Now, on the dash, they have a light that blinks. The computers and the real-time telemetry that the engineers are getting back here show that there is not a problem with the pop-off valve. So what they're going to do on the next pit stop, and this is unbelievable, with millions of dollars of telemetry, they're going to take a tiny piece of black tape and cover the light so it won't distract Nigel Mansell.
Well, that's the easiest, most expedient way to solve that problem. Danny Sullivan, let's look at this accident again. Watch especially Groff there on the left side of your screen, lower left-hand corner.
Yeah, you can see Mike's ahead. I don't think he sees Dominic Dobson down there, and he comes down. He's focusing on the corner. Dominic's going in there, and with the change in the track from 2 years ago with the apron, there just was not enough room. They just touched wheels, and that's all it takes.
Danny, I think he should have been able to see him. You know, I was watching his helmet visit.